Thanks. So shut up everyone and hit record, and cool. So the idea being is that we're going to try to go static and active, nothing too crazy. You've all probably done everything before, but the idea being is there's going to be times where we're going to take breath holds and try and do small amounts. Now, however much feels comfortable for you is all you're going to do. So this, you know, there'll be times some of you can hold it for perhaps a whole sun salutation. There'll be some of you who can't. Whatever works for you. When I say take a breath hold is when you're going to aim to take a breath hold, and then you're going to hold it until whatever point you can't. When I say stop taking breath hold, if you're still holding, will be when you stop, and then we'll work everything else in and around it from there. Thumbs up if that makes no sense whatsoever. Gary, cheers Gary. So let's find ourselves sitting down. And we will start with a nice comfortable seated position. Remember, as always, you do not have to be cross-legged. You can be on your shins. You can bend a leg up. You can bend two legs up. You can sit on your shins like we did a minute ago. You can have your legs straight out in front. And as you sit tall, I want you just to then let everything relax and slouch as if you were a slouchy child sitting in his school chair wanting to do anything but be at school. And then you're going to imagine that around, Gary, I'm sure you know where the bra strap line is, around your bra strap line you're going to try to imagine someone's put their thumb on it and they're pushing it forward and up, and at the same time someone's holding the back of your head and pulling you back and up. So you end up with this sitting tall, feeling not double chinning, not pulling your chin down. You've still got space between your chin and your chest, and yet the back of the neck is lengthening. And then you're going to take a gentle inhale in, a gentle exhale out. And then you're just going to drop your chin and close your throat and hold the breath for 5. And then lift the chin and breathe in. And exhaling out. And drop the chin and hold. And lift the chin and breathe in. And drop the chin. Exhale and hold. Then lift the chin, breathe in. Hold your knees and just drop your spine back, rolling everything. Imagine your shoulders are being pulled over your rib cage by the fact that you're just trying to roll back, but your hands are stopping you. And then again, pull yourself back through, sitting nice and tall. With that inhale in, try to feel your ribs moving that lateral direction. Left hand down to the floor, exhale. Push into your left hand and reach across with your right hand. On your exhale, take the breath hold at the bottom. And then inhale back in. Right hand down beside you, push across as you exhale. So you're using your right hand as actively as your left hand. Both hands are active, both arms are active, and you're holding the breath at the bottom. And then inhale back up. Interlink your fingers, push your palms forward towards the front of the room, towards the front of your mat. Exhaling out. Imagine someone's really politely, yogically punched you in the ribs as you breathe in and breathe out. And keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. And then imagine your arms are like a massive steering wheel that you're just going to steer to the left. Still breathing nice and slow and steady. And then come back out with this still rounded spine. Still rounded spine. Deliberately rounding, deliberately flexing, deliberately being in that terrible postured position. Come back through. Inhale, draw the arms up. Exhale, release the hands up to the sky and bring them down at the bottom of that exhale. Inhale, draw the arms back up. Exhale, keep the arms above your head. Hold the breath, and then just pump your hands. Open and close, open and close, open and close. So you're holding your breath, you're holding your breath, you're holding your breath. At some point you're going to suddenly start to feel an air hunger, a need to breathe. The pumping of the hands will make that come on quicker. At whatever point that you feel is the urge to breathe, then you breathe. We're going to keep going for another 20 seconds, so perhaps you have to give up before then. Of course, please do. Don't do it for the sake of doing it. You're going to just notice at which point you need to stop as we go for another 10. And then releasing. And then rolling around. Uncross your legs and just cross them in the other direction for now. So hopefully, well, for me, say for instance, my right foot was in front originally, so now my left foot's in front. Obviously that'd be the opposite. It should just feel a little bit more awkward. And then without doing too much of the same, we're just going to do a little bit where the arms reach up and the left hand comes down, is nice and active in the floor. So the idea being is you're not doing this, it's more of doing this. So you can hopefully see the difference of this and this. This is the rib cage moving and the side of the body, the spine opening. This is kind of like bum cheek lifting. So we take the inhale in, we take the exhale out, we hold the breath, and then we breathe back in. Then we exhale over towards the right, right hand in the floor, left hand. So again, this, not this. This, reach and reach. So it's up and over, not just over. I'm sure I've hammered that point home enough and I'll shut up. So just on that exhale, hold. And then inhale, come back up. Interlink those fingers. Push them out in front. Push them out in front. Push them out in front. Roll onto your bum cheeks. Push, 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 push. Steering wheel to the left. Feel as if your left side of your kind of body, of your chest and your back is squeezing and engaging. The right side is stretching and opening. And then come back through to center on the inhale. And there's no breath holds right now. It's just trying to keep the breath soft and quiet and slow as we move through these weird positions. And then inhale, come back through. Bring your hands out in front and roll over onto all fours. And so you're in your cat-cows. Once you're in your cat-cow, or your tabletop, should I say. And then you're just going to take a nice little freestyle cat-cow. So do whatever your body wants to do right now. Shake it left, shake it right, shake it up and down. Look up, look down, look left, look right. See if you can move your torso and your spine in kind of different directions. So you almost like feel all the clicks and crunches and whatever else. You could sit back towards your toes. Now, whatever you're doing, you're going to continue this freestyle movement. We're going to do it for another 35 seconds, but you're going to take a little breath in now, a little breath out now. You're going to hold your breath, and you're going to see where, at what point you need to breathe. So just keep rolling around those wrists, keep rolling around those shoulders. The more you move, the more you're going to feel the urge to breathe build quicker. The slower and the less you move, the more time you'll be able to hold your breath for just another 10 seconds to go. Really try to feel those scapula, those shoulder blades gliding over your ribs. 3, 2, 1, beauty. So from there, just walk your hands out. I'm gonna risk the wind, take my jumper off. So we're going to take a downward facing dog. Now when we come to down dog, we're just going to break this. We're going to spend a little while in down dog. And hello Daisy. And we're going to just see what happens as far as our breath holds go and the posture. So push your way up into whatever you consider to be a downward facing dog. Once you're there, I'm going to come and have a look at your shoulders and your hands. Beautiful. So, Tash, just bring your hands in towards each other a little bit more, just a little bit more. That's it, perfect. Now, can you shrug your shoulders away from your ears? That's it. And imagine and same with you, Dibs. Can you just let your shoulder, like the top of your shoulders, roll away from your ears? So yeah, externally rotate those shoulders. Yes, Gary, good. Now, can you push down into your thumb at the same time? So the arms are straight. This is weird, I know. Arms are straight. That's it. So you're trying to give your ears some space at the same time as internally rotate your forearms. What a weird sensation that is. So you're going to try and hang out here. Jackie, just try to bend your knees a little bit more and then try and suck your bum up towards the sky some more. So with bend knees, yes, beauty. Inhale in, exhale out. Hold the breath. Soft knees are always a good thing in down dog. You can get so much more out of your spine, out of your pelvis with soft knees. Whenever you need to breathe, you've got another potential 20 seconds, but if you need to breathe before then, you breathe before then. And then you just return to some normal breathing. Keep thinking about thumbs and hands, index finger and kind of first knuckle down in the floor. Hips in the sky, bum in the sky. And then let's drop down towards our knees. And let's inhale, draw the arms up so we can then find our hands coming down on towards our hips. So we should hopefully be here. So depending on what we're doing breath-wise, obviously our diaphragm, okay, I'm sure most of you know the diaphragm kind of runs through here, but it's connected down through a whole bunch of like fascial tissue down towards our psoas and iliacus as well. So what we're going to try and do is, rather than say the position we were just in, we're going to try and extend through our spine and through our hips. So hands on hips. This is going to look very wrong, so I'm going to move Dexter's bum out of the way. From here, squeeze your bum cheeks on. And then we're going to just try to not lean our chest back. We're not looking for this. This just means our hips haven't extended at all. We want to try and grow tall and then push the hips forward in space. And then we're going to breathe in and try and breathe laterally, remember, laterally left and right. Try and feel as if the abdomen, the abdominal muscles lengthen. Bum cheeks are still squeezing. The exhale comes out. And then you hold the breath. Squeeze bum cheeks. Keep trying to lift your rib cage. Try even get hold of your ribs. Let go of your low back. Grab under your bra strap. Same for you, Gary. Get under your bra strap, Gary. Lift it up and push your abdomen forward. Push the abdomen forward. Feel the belly lengthen on that breath hold, and then release down. Sink down into child's pose. So once you're in child's pose, let everything just nuzzle and snuggle down. Let your forehead gently massage the mat perhaps. And then breathe in, breathe out. Hold your breath. inhale. Breathing in to come up to sit. That wasn't an indication for you to sit next to, but there we go. Okie dokie. So again, we're going to take another camel. And again, you're just going to try to continue. So perhaps you can get hold of your rib cage again and lift that rib cage up. So again, we're trying to, as well as finding the rib cage lifting, so we're trying to lift through here, so not bend backwards, we're trying to lift upwards and find the pelvis tilting forwards. Then we're going to try to breathe laterally. We need to shift this outwards, not just up. So we need to try, and that's going to help us again pull that diaphragm through. And whenever you're ready, you're already in. I love it. In fact, I'm not even going to demonstrate it. I'm going to just watch and see how you're getting on. So feel as if, don't push your chin back. So don't imagine you're dropping your head back. Almost lengthen the back of the neck like we did in that first upright seated posture. Try to get your bum forward by squeezing the glutes. That's it. So try and lift the ribs even higher, Dibs, if you can. Try and get them up. There you go. There you go. There you go. And then push those hips forward. Imagine the front of the hips is going to get a stretch. Same for you, Gary. Get them hips forward, boy. Go on. There we go. Yes. Nice, Gillian. Keep going. A little bit more. One more. You're going to take the breath in. You're going to take the breath out. You're going to hold the breath again. And you're going to hold and squeeze and lift and push everything. And then whenever you're ready, you're going to let go of that exhale, hold, and you're going to just relax back down towards your child's pose. Have a feeling I might have got the exhale, inhale, hold wrong there, but it doesn't matter either way. Any breath hold will be fine. So in this position, as your arms are out in front and you're in child's pose, all I want you to try to do is keep your hands flat and roll your shoulders in, and notice how they ride up towards your ears. And then as you exhale out, roll them down, and feel how, hopefully, as you keep trying to roll those shoulder blades down, almost feel like they're trying to pull down your spine as well. So just move it in and move them out. And just feel those shoulder blades. You might even feel like what would be classed as your lats, so the big back muscles, they're like the big wings. You can almost feel them tugging at their kind of upper end towards the arm. And again, keep those hands flat for now. And then we're going to take that back into our down dog. So we're going to explore that sensation a bit more. Tuck your toes, lift the knees. Now hold here for a second and try to find this kind of tilt, ski slope effect of the back. Keep your knees bent, lift your hips up, and then again I want you to push those wrists, those hands down into the floor. Feel the fingertips gripping the ground. Your knees are still bent. Play with bent knees. Bent knees are the way. Hip, yes, Gary, perfect. Dibs, shoulders outwards. Roll them outwards. Upper shoulders out. Yes, there. Good. So look towards your belly. I can't remember if you like to be called Nat or Tash or whatever. We can figure that one out at the end. Either way, cool. So either way, try and look back towards your belly. Try and bend your knees and lift your bum towards the sky more. That's it, up there. Yes, there. Now inner hands down, shoulders out. Good. So Gillian, shoulders out a little bit more. Roll the upper shoulders out. That's it, there. And then we're going to lift the right leg up towards the sky. Three-legged dog. Inhale in. Exhale out. Hold this position. And as you inhale in, you're going to step that right foot outside your right hand. Go on, Jackie, pull that, yeah, pull that knee up and forward. So hopefully we're here. Here comes Douglas to ruin the day, as always. Hello, buddy. Got a very tired dog. Ow. And then from here, we're going to lift our back knee, and we're just going to sway around. So basically I'm using this class as an opportunity to get you guys to do as many exhale breath holds as possible, sometimes moving, sometimes not, just to increase levels of carbon dioxide, just to increase levels of nitric oxide, just to open the airways, to give you a slightly scary sensation of oxygen hunger. So again, we're going to breathe in, we're going to breathe out, we're going to hold the breath, and we're going to try and drop ourselves down. Holding the breath, chest is trying to get as close to the floor as possible, back knee is staying off the floor as high as possible. Then we're going to inhale back in, exhale, we're going to step the left foot outside your left hand, elbows come onto knees, inhale in, exhale out, hold the breath. And then you're going to just do little pulses, holding the breath. Doesn't look weird at all, don't worry. Whenever you need to breathe, you stand up and you breathe in. We breathe in, we draw the arms up, and then we exhale, come back down. Goddess pose. Step back so you don't lose my head. Come into your goddess. We're going to breathe in. We're going to breathe out. We're going to imagine pelvic floor gently draws up. Tailbone tries to tuck. Ribs gently drop, and we hold the breath. Chin drops to chest. Hold. Whenever you need to breathe, you inhale, straighten the legs up, exhale, one more of those, exhale down, pelvic floor, lower abs, tummy tucked, ribs drop, hold, eyes closed, perhaps concentrate, whenever you need to again, let's straighten those legs. Fiery. And then exhale with straight legs this time, no more breath holds for a few minutes. And all we're going to do is we're in our wide leg forward fold at the front of our mat. So we were here, we're just going to heel toe those feet a little bit more, and then sway our hips around and our bums around. And so now is the perfect opportunity to be breathing in nice and slowly, nice and lightly. I know mine isn't very light. I'm trying to make it audible, just so you can hear that when there's kind of the length that I'm breathing at. And again, you're just swaying around, you're not doing anything, you're just feeling into your body. And then we're just going to gently roll our way back up. We'll be doing the other side in just a second. All of those horrible goddess holds again. But for now, I just want you to practice bending your left knee, keeping the right knee straight. Right knee straight. You're going to come on to, you're going to lift the whole outside arch of the foot up, the whole outside blade of the foot up even. Now, pick your big toe up towards your shin, keep it up, and then try to roll the outside edge of your left heel down. Toes are still up. Outside edge of your fifth metatarsal, so your kind of fifth toe knuckle comes down to the floor. Your knee is still straight, hands at heart center. We're going to shift our hips across. Knees still straight. You should be feeling like the outside of your ankle is opening. And we just try to go as low as we can, keeping the outside blade down, big toe knuckle down as well. And again, come back up. So you might have found that to keep your foot grounded, you went this far, and either the outside of the foot lifted or the whole big toe lifted. It's cool. Bodies aren't all going to move in the same way at the same time every day. So we're going to go over to the other side. So again, pick your outside of the blade of the foot up, pick your toes up towards your face and get your big toe knuckle on the floor. Now from there, drive your weight through that right ankle back to the outside of your right foot, and then down through the outside of your right little toe. Then we're going to bend the left knee, and you're going to try to keep driving this leg straight as we drift off. And again, you might come only this far and then something on this right foot lifts or shifts. That's cool. So in that case, you can come out of that and just reset and go back in. If you're still there, if it's still holding strong, you can keep trying to push across, keep trying to push across, keep trying to push down and across. And you might think, what the hell am I doing? And then we push back up. And then the hands are going to come back down to the floor. So hopefully you'll have got a good spiral. Our whole body is like grows in spirals from like the very beginnings of our embryo. So try and feel as if there's a spiraling action through the leg as this leg goes out, the outside of the foot comes down. From there, I'm just going to remind myself where I am. We're going to walk those feet back in. We're going to step the right foot back. Right hand is going to stay in the floor, left hand onto your left knee, look towards the left, look over your back, but your right knee is almost certainly bending at this point, isn't it, guys? I'm sure it is. So push that right knee straight, push that right knee straight, get it off the floor, lift that and straighten it, but get your hips down towards the floor. So drop into your left hip, attach, open your knee slightly wider and get inside that leg. That's it, get in there. Now lift your left hand up to the sky. So Jackie, back knee a little bit. Are you on your back knee? I can't quite see. That's it, get it off the floor. That's it. And twist towards that left. Keep your hips dropping. The dibs more in towards your left hip. Drop your left hip, not your right. No, the left. That's the one, that's it. And then left hand down to the floor. Good, Gillian. Then step that left foot back to the back of the mat, drop to child's pose. And then again, forehead on the ground. And you breathe in. You breathe out. You hold the breath. You breathe in. You breathe out. You hold the breath. You breathe in. You breathe out. You hold the breath. 2 more times. You breathe in. You breathe out. I'm deliberately changing the length of these breath holds every time. You hold the breath. Final one. Breathe in. Breathe out, hold the breath. And then breathe in and relax, no longer worrying about any breath holds. And again, just play with your arms and your shoulders. So this is such a lovely place to begin to have straight arms, have the hands press into the floor. Feel as if that kind of 1990s when people used to put an L against their head for loser. Imagine that part of your index finger down through the knuckle, through what we call the thenar enemus, the fatty bit of tissue between your thumb and your index finger, and then the thumb are really pushing down into the ground. That's the bit which is finding most of the weight on the floor. You grip with your fingertips and you roll your shoulders away, still trying to push down through the inner hands. Then tuck your toes if they're not already, and lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. So again, we think about shoulders. Give your ears some space again. Dips. There. Good. Yeah, nice, Gary. Give them knees a bit of a pedal around. Feel how that feels. So in this place, just give yourself a bit of a shake. Drop your hips right over to one side, right over to the other. Yeah, lovely. And then we will find our way back to down dog. And then once we're there, in our downward facing dog, we're going to inhale, lift the left leg up to the sky. So simple pose, but when we suddenly put a breath hold in and we have to focus on holding it, we inhale, we exhale, we hold the breath in three-legged dog. We hold, we hold, we hold, we hold. Then on your next inhale breath, we're going to draw that left foot through to the outside of our left hand. Once that foot is outside your left hand, we can either have back knee down or not, but if you've got it up, I want you to really feel as if you're lifting through your thigh bone, not through your bum. So the lower thigh, try and feel as if you're lifting through this part of your thigh, knee to halfway up your thigh. That's where we're driving this from. And then the front hip, your left hip, is dropping down, down, down. So you're trying to get this down and this up. And so that the hips stay level. Then we breathe in, we breathe out, we hold the breath. Breathing in, breathing out, try and sink lower into your front left hip, keeping the back right hip up. Hold the breath, 5. One more inhale, one more exhale. Now inhale, step the right foot forward outside your right hand. So again, we bring our elbows on towards our thighs. Again, we do the slight little pulses. So from the side view, we're here, and it's just going to be this little lower end range through there. Okay, so we take the breath in, take the breath out, hold the breath. And let your knees just knock in a little bit. Feel the arches of the feet flatten. Do it with that range of motion. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Let's breathe in. Draw the arms up. Exhale. Drop down in towards goddess pose. Tummy tucks. Try to feel as if you kind of engage from your belly button downwards. So just, even if you need to put your hands on your pelvic, on your thighs for a minute, try and tuck your tailbone under. Imagine pelvic floor, sort of Kegel type exercise, drawing up and in, and then just poke your lower abdomen. Hopefully that will feel like it's switching on. Inhale in, exhale out, breath, hold the breath, 5. Inhale, push long. Your legs are going to be getting so much oxygen right now. Exhale, release the hands. Going to do 2 more rounds. Increasing our level of carbon dioxide within the thighs, because they're the bits which are holding us. They're burning energy. Obviously, Jackie, if any of this is ever too much, stop. Okay, so we inhale, draw the arms up. Exhale, drop down. Tailbone tucks. Pull up Mula Bandha, so our pelvic floor. Find Uddiyana Bandha. That's the transverse abdominis. So if you were to poke the outside of your rectus abdominis, it should be on the six-pack, feels softish. Holding there on the exhale. If at any point you need to come out, come out. Inhale in. Exhale, relax your hands down. So we're going to do 1 more round. Of course, if you can't be fucked with the breath holds, don't do them. Just take a goddess and breathe through it instead. Same with any of these poses really. Breath holds, I should have said, are optional, but they're pretty good for you, so hopefully you will join me in them. Final one then, are you ready? So remember, the heels are kind of in, toes to about a 45 for this one. Excuse me, we're going to breathe in. Exhale out as we drop down. As we drop, tuck your tailbone, feel those two switch on. Hold the breath on the exhale for at least, well, for up to 10. And then inhale back in. Thank the Lord. Turn it so your heels turn out and you get legs to feet to 90 degrees again. They're all facing straight. So we're going to go shift left first time this time. So let your outside blade of your right foot lift, get your heel and then your big toe knuckle down to the floor and pick your big toe up. This is quite important to pick the big toe up at this point, and I can try and explain why, but it's probably a bit long-winded. Keeping the toe up, rolling this ankle out, feel the whole ankle shift out, the shin bone lifting out, hand maybe on your right hip, and you're going to push across, push across, push across. Feel this whole leg come out again. Then we're going to perhaps drop and sink down, keeping this big toe knuckle on the floor. Even keep that big toe up if you would like. 3, and again you can just play of coming in and out. Play of the ankle is the most important thing. 1, come back out. You can even just keep hands on the floor. Left outside blade lifts up. Again, hands can come up if you need. You can just play with even lifting right up to here onto the heel. Push that ball of the foot so it touches. Roll your ankle out, keeping your big toe up. And again, this might be as far as you go. Remember, the whole point of this is just to feel into your current edge, not to do something stupid and jazzy. You feel that ankle rolling out, that outside blade pushing down. If it's in your practice, you drop lower and then come back up. So from there again, hands come down into the floor. We're going to step that left foot back behind us, find our way back into this lunging position. So again, this one involves the twist. So your right foot should be outside your right hand. If you want to put your left knee on the floor for now, put your left knee on the floor. You can use that to then try, Jackie, to get the right side of your belly down inside your right thigh if possible. So don't move the leg, just try and get, that's it, down in there. So it's almost just trying to drop down. Lovely. Now from there, if you want it, push your back toes into the floor, lift your back knee. When you do that, Dib, see if you can keep your bum down. Yeah. Now right hand, hopefully right hand, is going to lift up towards the sky. Twist. Try not to let your left hip drop. So when you let your left hip drop, when you lift your right hand, you're kind of taking away some of the momentum and some of the twist through your spine. So try and keep your your left hip as high as it was. Push through that thigh bone again. Lift through that thigh bone and twist through the ribs. So we're here. Don't let this happen, because this feels like you're going forever and miles, but actually your spine's not really rotated. Whereas if we can go here and keep that back leg up and then twist through there, not gone anywhere near as far, but actually the twist we feel through the right hip and through the upper spine, left upper spine, is radical. And then from there, let's step that right hand down to the floor and step back to child's pose. So that's as exertional as we're going to get today. From now on, we just get to do some breathing and some more relaxed poses. So just take your little breath in, take your little breath out. Your little breath in, your little breath out. Imagine you're sipping air, a bit like just sipping water. Just going to sip air, or maybe sipping whiskey. You probably sip whiskey more than water. Well, you guys don't, because obviously you're all very well behaved and good yogis, but you know. So hardly bringing in any air, hardly taking out any air. And then thinking about how we were trying to move our spine at the very beginning when we were stretching our arms over our head, but using, if we were stretching towards the right, we were using our right hand as like a pillar to push our rib cage left. You're going to try and expand through the left side of the ribs by walking your hands towards the right. And your left hand is going to reach even further forward than your right is. And so as your left reaches further forward, it opens the left side of the rib cage. And you're going to take 5 rounds of breathing slow and steady but full into your rib cage on the left side. Imagine you're closing down the right side. You're shutting off your right lung. You're trying to live solely off your left lung. And so you're trying to breathe into that whole side and expand it. When we're on our belly, or our bellies is on our thighs, it's actually quite a nice way to restrict movement into the front of our chest and try to feel the movement up into the back. Imagine that as you breathe, as you suck that air in, you can feel that rib cage expanding around and off that spine, pushing up towards the sky. Just sipping in that air, slow and steady, but full and deep. Taking just one more breath here before we push up on towards our shins. So as you finish this breath, draw your right hand in near your right calf, and then lift your left arm up over the head. So your left bum cheek does not leave your left heel. Now, it might do, because if this is a really uncomfortable position on your knees or your ankles, you could come up to here. You could place one hand on your hip and reach this over. But what we're trying to avoid is doing this, much like we did at the beginning. We want the extension to be, the lateral flexion to be through this upper spine. And then we're going to draw those hands back down on the exhale, and we're going to walk over towards the left. And that right hand walks out of your body, out of your shoulder even further. That's it. No, so walk that hand. If you can though, that's it. Keep that shoulder down a little bit. So imagine you're closing off that right armpit. You're not letting it flare up and open. Perfect, Gillian. Yes, like that. And then breathing into your armpit. You can't physically breathe into your armpit, of course. But imagining if you could. Taking just 3 more breaths. You can try to put the tension on the inhale. So as you inhale in, you're really reaching, tensioning, putting more and more space in that side. Then as you exhale, you just soften a little bit and let the whole body surrender down. And then on your next inhale, again, walk your hand in, your left hand in towards your left calf muscle. Reach your right hand up and over your head, and almost imagine you're going to pull that right shoulder blade onto your back pocket. So you're trying to twist towards the right, but your left hand is stopping you. Reach and breathe and extend, and reach and expand and breathe, and then exhale, come back down onto child's pose, or into child's pose I should say. finding in just about 3 breaths our way towards pigeon or stag with the right leg. So your choice, one or the other. Final exhale. So lift your way up and then draw that right knee in towards your right wrist. Now again, if pigeon is something you dislike, if it doesn't suit you, then find your way into a 90-90 leg shape, which if you're not sure would essentially look like a really short lunge. We just drop down to there. We're going to then relax over our front leg. And if you wanted to, again, you can find whichever variation suits you. Now for the final kind of 10 minutes or so, we're going to sack off any more breath holds because you've all had enough of them. Can't figure out what the purpose of them is. They just make you feel stressed. So instead, we're going to try to make our breaths as light, as slow, and as deep as we feel comfortable. Going to try to breathe in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 8 or 6. See which one works for you, but we're trying to find an exhale dominant breath. Trying to find it so the exhale is longer than the inhale. If breathing for a prolonged period like this is challenging, long COVID for example, then you just shorten it. You breathe in for 3 and you breathe out for 5 or 6. Even if you needed, you could breathe in for 2 and out for 4. That still give you a 10 breaths a minute rate, which will still be best part of 8 to 10 breaths less than perhaps you would normally breathe. This feels like it's going pretty well. Nothing's too crazy challenging. I just want you to try to feel as if you could flare your nostrils on your inhale. And what happens when you flare your nostrils to the temperature of the air you breathe? Does it change noticeably? Taking 2 more breaths with this slightly flared nostril inhale. Noticing the space that we create for the air to be drawn in, the coolness in which it flows in with. As you finish, perhaps your final exhale, we're going to drop down towards our bum cheek and sweep in your own time that left leg towards the front. Once it's out in front, the right foot sweeps back behind you. And we find pigeon on the other side, or stag. Whichever one you did on the first side, try to do on the second. If you found that your left side is really shit compared to your right, then next time, try and go with your shit side. So if you know that your left side is worse, do the shit thing, or it's not the shit, it's just a different pose, but do the 90-90 on the right side as well. That way you kind of get more of a chance to balance things up rather than constantly doing really well with one side and excessively opening one side and the other side's taking a while to catch up. And again, we just breathe into this space here. And the same idea, light, slow and deep. Begin to get to the stage now where we're coming into the final kind of 5-10 minutes of practice, where the breath is getting so light that we can't hear ourselves or necessarily feel massive movements when we breathe in. Of course, we're looking for that sensation of temperature on the back of the nose, so you can flare that nostril. Breathing in and breathing out. How little air can you breathe out and still feel comfortable? Again, just 3 more breaths of these little flared nostrils. Then again, in your own time, when you find that the final third breath is finished, you drop onto that left bum cheek and you sweep that right leg round. And once you find yourself in that position, you gently lie down onto your back as we just take the final minute or two just to let the whole body sink down. So just gently place your hands around the back of your neck. Imagine you're pulling your neck long, the back of your head long. Try and find space between the bottom of the ears and the top of the shoulders. And then let the hands come down by your side. Let your body relax. Final short little Shavasana after the prolonged pigeon poses. Just continuing that simple guided inhale, soft and light and deep. Scan your body. Think of all the places that you know that you like to hold tension, whether it be your jaw, whether it be your eyebrows, your temples, your hips, your shoulders. Just scan through each and every one of those spots and allow yourself just a second to let it go. let it relax. Just take another 40 seconds. Final 20 seconds, slowly, softly, feeling into that whole body relaxing. And then slowly beginning to wriggle your fingers and your toes, slowly beginning to wriggle the ankles and the wrists. Gently flop your legs left and right, your head can just gently sway around. As you draw the knees up in towards your belly in your own time, drawing that breath in as you do. Hug the knees and give yourself a big sigh and a big flutter of the lips where you go. And then a gentle inhale in. In your own time, maybe rolling onto the left side, or maybe just rolling up to a nice comfortable position, seated on your shins or whatever works for you. And as you sit tall, as the crown lifts up, we find the hands rising in prayer. Close out, folding forward over the legs. Lakah Samasta Sukhina Bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all.